Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be taking a look at 20 things you need to know about the brand new Vysser Neo sports car before you end up purchasing this vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online when it arrives, which could happen in a couple of days, couple of weeks, or a couple of months, since it's currently a drip feed car. So let's begin by taking a look at this sports car on the Legendary Motorsports site. If the website is any indication on how it's going to be released, it is in the first spot. So we actually could see this coming in a couple of days. Its price is $1,875,000, which is pretty expensive as far as sports cars go. It's a two-seater vehicle, and in case you're wondering what this vehicle is based on, it's based off of the Spiker C8 Illyrion. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It also takes some minor influences from the Aston Martin Vanquish and the Maserati 3200 GT. But for the most part, it's based off of the Spiker C8, which is one of the most unique created vehicles in real life, and it's also probably why Rockstar built an entire new brand for this vehicle, Vysser. And that's something you might not have known about either. This is the first Vysser vehicle in GTA 5 and in the Grand Theft Auto series for that matter. So that actually makes it really, really cool. So really quickly now, let's take a listen to the startup sound and the engine noise so you can get a better idea on how this car sounds. So I was actually surprised how good this vehicle sounds, and you can see the interior here. You've got the massive Vysser logo on the steering wheel. It is kind of hard to see. Like, I don't know what about this vehicle, but you feel really tall in it. Now, it does have this panoramic glass roof, which is really cool. So as far as seeing like out the top and out the sides, you've got great visibility. But as far as seeing directly in front of you, it's not that great, and that's because of the shape of the slanted windscreen. So now that we've checked out the interior, the prices, the vehicle on the website, and what it's based off of in real life, let's go ahead and move this vehicle in to the Los Santos custom shop, where you'll notice that it has a pretty good amount of customization, 20 options. That's not bad. And we actually begin with bumpers. And there's a handful of bumper options here. Most are just going to add a variation of a either painted or carbon fiber splitter. I opted against this. I was going for a little bit of a cleaner look. And on the rear bumpers, you can add various accents or a custom diffuser. Again, choose whatever you want. I went with a more simple option. One feature I really like about this car is that you can see the engine through the glass in the back. So one of the important things to do is actually change the air filters on top. And there's actually a lot of different options here, and more so than just the air filters. Like, some of the options will actually change the design and the layout of the engine block itself. So you can actually get some really cool options here, which I think is kind of awesome. So don't forget to change that in the engine. This vehicle also has a ton of exhaust options, 14 to be exact. That's a lot of exhaust options right there. So I wonder why Rockstar was so hell-bent on giving this car so many exhausts, but there's a lot of cool ones, including some infinity exhaust options. There's also some massive ones that you can add as well, including the final one, which is literally called Octa Exhaust Set. So you've got 8 exhaust pipes, which is just way overkill, but does look kind of fun when you got those 8 flames going out the back. Those are your exhaust options. After that, it is grill choices. A lot of grill options as well. There's 13. So not only does this vehicle have a lot of customization options, but under each option, there is a lot of choices as well. So I went with the shark grill here. I felt like it gave it a pretty venomous look at the front. And when I'm recording this video, it's currently Shark Week right now. So I figured that would be a good thing to do. From there, you've got your hood options where you can, again, choose from a lot of different ones, 11 total. Some will add vents, some will add carbon fiber, some will add some hood scoops and whatnot. I went with the classic stripped hood because I wanted to keep this car as clean of a look as possible. From there, you've got hood catches, which you have a modern one and a classic one. Again, I opted against this just because I was trying to keep the car as clean as possible. And from there, we move on to liveries. There's 10 of them. The first is black stripes, which puts 2 long, simple stripes down the front and back of the car. Pretty simple stuff right there. Nothing too crazy going on. After that, it's red abstract. And I think red abstract is okay. I think the 86 looks like it was drawn by someone trying to write with their opposite hand. It looks really silly to me. And I think that the sponsorships are kind of crammed together at the front. But I do like the red paneling. That is kind of cool. Then you've got gold abstraction, which, as it sounds, is literally the exact same thing, but just a gold color instead of red. Following that, it's Vysser stripes. I like the stripes part of this, but I can't say I'm a big fan of like all the sponsorships sort of crammed together on the door sill and on the back. It sort of seems kind of random, in my opinion. So I like some parts of this livery, but I certainly don't like all of them. That's Vysser stripes. From there, you've got Fukuru Croex. I'm not a big fan of this one either. It looks like the car has a bunch of raindrops on it. So far, I'm not a fan of the liveries that Rockstar have like tried to make really complex. I've been more of a fan of the one simple one with the black stripes. Following that, it's Track Day. This one's a little bit hard to see just because of the dark gray color, but you can see there it sort of fills in the entire back of the car in this dark gray, and even on the top and the front, and there's some sponsorships on the side. It's similar to Fukuru Croex, but with just a different design and color. You've then got an alternate Track Day, which is the exact same thing, but in white. This one is a little bit easier to see. I do like what it says on the side, Super Secret Sauce, for whatever that means, but that right there is your Track Day liveries. If I had to pick a favorite one, this one's probably my favorite. It's Two-Tone Augury, which puts this like sort of gradient of white to whatever your car's color is at the front, with some simple sponsorships along the way. For me, the reason I like this one is the sponsorships are very clean. They don't seem to be like thrown about all over the place. So that's Two-Tone Augury. You've then got Dutch Motor Market, which I actually kind of like the design, but I don't like the cluttered sponsorships that are just sort of thrown on the side. I like how the car is sort of 2/3 the regular color and then 1/3 the livery color. But I'm not a huge fan of, again, all the random sponsorships thrown about here. And the final one is Neo 52, which I'm not really a huge fan of. It's like this green and orange sort of outline design. And it says new wing ding dings on the outside. So, again, take that for whatever it's worth. I'm actually not really a fan of any of the liveries on this car. Again, that's just my personal opinion, but I was going for a simpler look for this car. Now let's move over to our respray options where we've got primary, secondary, and trim colors. So your primary color is going to change pretty much the entire body of the vehicle, whereas your secondary color is going to change the roof. And that, for the most part, is pretty much it. And then the trim color changes a lot of the interior, like the steering wheel, the dash, even the stitching on the steering wheel and the seats and the dashboard, it ends up changing that. So your trim color is pretty important here. I just ended up going with black. I kind of went with like a space age design for this car. We went with like a shiny aluminum look. And from there, it's time to move on to the roof, where you've got a couple of different options like vortex generators and a racing roof kit and whatnot. You've also got a handful of skirt options as well. Not as many as some of the other choices we've seen, but you still do have a handful. And then from there, it's on to spoilers, and there's actually a lot of spoiler options here. In my personal opinion, I'm not a fan of really any of them. I think this car looks best when it's a lot cleaner. Now, I would be sacrificing the traction bonus you would be getting from applying a spoiler to this car. So if you're ultimately looking to max it out performance-wise, you don't want to do what I did, which is not put a spoiler on there. But either way, those are your spoiler choices. And last but not least, if you're curious about the wheels, those are custom wheels and rims, but they're chrome, which means they cannot be changed via the iFruit app. So this vehicle does get a custom set of rims and wheels and tires, but it can't be changed because it is chrome. So now that we've got this vehicle outside of the Los Santos custom shop, let's take a look at how all the doors open on this vehicle. The hood, the trunk, passenger and driver side doors open, with the passenger and driver side opening in sort of the scissor door style, which looks awesome in my opinion. Kind of adds a uniqueness to this sports car, that's for sure. If we also take a look at the headlights and how they function, the headlights are awesome on this car. So the normal lights is that like single light bulb, but then if you turn the brights on, you get this sort of like upside down Nike check mark row of LEDs, and that looks awesome. So I love when Rockstar has cars that utilize all the lights on them. And even the tail light as well. When you throw on the brakes, it's this massive like beam of lights that comes out of the back. So this car is really cool at night, that's for sure. You're going to have a ton of fun driving it then. Now, as far as the performance of this vehicle goes, it's hard for me to tell based off of what I was doing in single player, but it feels fast and fun to drive. And it certainly has the price tag, like it's not only fast, but also really fun too. Now, keep in mind, I don't even have a spoiler on this vehicle, and I still felt great going around turns and cornering. So I think this might be one of the best sports cars we've got in the game. Now, is it going to be able to compare to the Pariah and some of the other fast sports cars in the game? At this point, I'm really not too sure. It would certainly be unique if the only Vysser vehicle in the game turned out to be one of the best performing sports cars and was basically a must-buy. It's pretty expensive, but it definitely does have a lot of unique customization and aspects to it. The one thing I am disappointed here is the spoilers look, in my opinion, awkward on this car, and the liveries, in my opinion, are not all that great. I feel like Rockstar kind of dropped the ball a little bit as far as the liveries go on this car. But anyways, that right there is 20 things you need to know about the brand new Vysser Neo before you end up purchasing this car in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. What do you think of the Vysser Neo? Is this a vehicle you're going to be buying, or is it one you might be staying away from? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And remember to subscribe if you guys are new or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA 5 casino news, info, videos, and more. And ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.